Well, hello and welcome to Old People This Week. My name is Jeff, and that rascal there in the newly ironed, clean shirt, that's Mike.
Crisp, crisp.
We are your hosts. Old People This Week is a podcast for lively, mentally agile people of 60 years of age and older. If you're under 60 and manage to find yourself here, then you can either leave or hang around and learn something, because Mike and I are the two smartest men in America. Isn't that right?
That we know.
We know. Please subscribe. If you subscribe, Mike will come over to your house with one of his horses and teach you how to lasso something.
Absolutely. You'll fly me and my horse first class airfare to your home, and we will create a spectacle on your front lawn that your neighbors will probably not appreciate.
No. Yeah. You don't clean up either. They have to do the cleanup.
I do no cleanup.
Send us an email to oldpeoplethisweek@gmail.com. We take all questions, comments. We'll tell you anything you need to know, whether it's advice about dating, money. We'll give you a recipe if you need it. Anything that you need to know, we have it at our fingertips. And check out our Substack at 52tasks.substack.com. We have a lot of good info in that Substack, and we give you a task every week to perform, and it's fun. Okay. Well, I'm pissed off about a number of things today, as usual, but today even more so, because the news
you got
was
cranked up over this.
Yeah.
This security leak.
Well, it wasn't just security leak; it was just everything. It was all the obits that that cropped up this week that we wanted to talk about. It was about
Oh yeah.
Blake Lively, of all people, got me all fired up. I know you saw the rundown and thought, "Oh my God, what's wrong with him? He's not taking his meds."
Doom and gloom, and of course you are wearing a black shirt. I want to liven things up a little with my sky blue.
Yeah, that the collar doesn't cover all that skin hanging down there. No, this is my Undertaker shirt. This is when I want to really lambaste somebody. So the first story is about this company with one of those names that means nothing, but ends up being the most important thing in your life, which is the National Public Data Company.
Yeah, I'd never even heard of it.
Who's heard of it? But it turns out that every single American has probably entered all their information on their website, or actually, they've gathered all the information that they needed to gather on us in order to do background checks. And I don't mean background checks like whether or not you have a prison record or not. This is background checks that are used when you apply for a Macy's credit card or a gas card or anything else. And to put it into perspective, they have 2.7 billion records. And each one of these records includes a person's full name, so Jeffrey Shore, my address, my date of birth, social security number, and phone number, along with alternate names like the name of your wife, kids, and birth dates. So they have more information than I have.
Yeah.
I'd have to go. Maybe I should call them when I need my wife's social security number. They have it.
Now you have to really be careful not to answer the phone or any computer scams, because they're onto you now.
So they got hacked, and then they're trying to be clever about it and don't tell anybody for a while. And finally, they just posted this thing on their website that said security incident. And then finally, they got pressured and they released the information that all these records had been hacked. So we're screwed. So having a person's email address makes it easier for a fraudster to target one of us with phishing attacks in which they try to dupe us into revealing passwords to financial accounts or downloading malware that can extract sensitive personal information from devices. Though I don't know why they need to get us to download any malware when they already have all the personal information they could possibly need.
Yeah, they can just go straight to the bank.
Yeah, go straight to the bank and take my money and here, have at it. So what to do? So because we are public servants, you and I, because we're always looking out for everyone else,
The greater good.
the greater good, the steps recommended by this National Public Data Company include checking your financial accounts for unauthorized activity, which, we pretty much do anyways, and placing a free fraud alert on your accounts at the three major credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And once you've placed a fraud alert on your account, the company advised, ask for a free credit report, then check it for accounts and inquiries you don't recognize. These can be signs of identity theft. It's like when you don't, I'll tell you what not to do is, if you go into if you're going to use an ATM, use a bank ATM. If you use an ATM anywhere that's not in a bank, like it's in the 7-Eleven or it's at the bowling alley or wherever, you might as well just have given your card to the thief and say, here, go use it.
Yeah, it's not secure.
It's not secure. And the two times that I've had identity thefts, it was after I used my credit card at an ATM that was in some non-bank setting.
Yeah.
And the first time by the time I got back home, there was someone in Texas going to Target and buying furniture within minutes. So security experts also advise putting a freeze on your credit cards at the three major credit bureaus. You can do it for free, and it will prevent criminals from taking out loans, signing up for credit cards, or opening financial accounts under your name. The catch is, of course there's a catch, that you'll need to remember to lift the freeze temporarily if you are obtaining or applying for something that needs or that requires a credit check. So again, it falls on us after they do the breach. We have to worry about all this.
Yeah. Well, see, you have to worry more than I do, though, because you're a rich guy. You're successful, retired media, show business, celebrity. And I, having had all my money stolen by that son of a bitch, Bernie Madoff, I don't have to worry about it. They got nothing for me.
We have never broached that subject yet, and someday we're going to do a full episode in which you can tell the entire terrible story of you, Bernie Madoff, and the exodus of your money from your bank accounts. Anyways, more bad news in the world of baby boomers. We've lost a couple of giants of our era. The first one was the only Peter Marshall. And I don't think that anybody younger than us would remember or care or give a darn about Peter Marshall. But he was that white bread looking host who basically was a straight man on a show called The Hollywood Squares.
Yeah.
He passed away in Encino, California. He was 98 years old, which means, by the way, he was born in 1926, back when you were a teenager.
Yeah, a little bit before me.
I don't know about that. He was on Hollywood Squares from 1966 to 1981. Basically, I watched a million episodes of that.
It was a great show.
It was a great show. It was basically, for people who never saw it, I'll try to put a picture of what the set looked like, but it was a giant tic-tac-toe set. So three like cubicles, and then three in the middle, and then three on top. And each one, there was different celebrities. And they were all sort of has-been kind of weird celebrities anyways. They'd been on shows in the sitcoms in the 60s and 70s, like Abby Dalton, Rose Marie, Maury Amsterdam, who was on the Dick Van Dyke Show, and then have an occasional guy like Burt Reynolds was on there, and Wally Cox, who was this little funny guy, and then the one and the only Paul Lynde, who was always in the center. Yeah,
He was great. Sometimes the exchanges between Paul Lynde and Rose Marie were pretty funny.
yeah, he was a funny guy. They scripted all those answers. So the way it worked is the contestant would pick a square, and then Peter Marshall would ask the star inside the square a question, and the star never said the answer right away. The first thing they did was respond with a wise-ass answer, a zinger in the show's parlance, before giving the serious answer. And then the contestant would then tell Mr. Marshall whether he or she thought the star had answered correctly, and the square would be won if the contestant was right. So it was tic-tac-toe. But it was the only reason to watch the show was those zingers, was the lines, Paul Lynde's. And it was funny. They were always double entendres. They were, they were sexy and funny and stupid. And I will tell you this personal story about it. So somewhere in probably the late 70s, I had moved to Los Angeles, and somebody invited me to a taping of Hollywood Squares. But the way they did it was they would tape a week's worth of shows on one day.
Yeah.
So you'd come in there, and then for 2 hours or so, they would basically tape the Monday, Tuesday show. Then they would go to lunch, and everybody would leave, come back, and they would tape the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday shows. And then they would go away for a week. And the shows would take about an hour to shoot a half-hour show because they were being fed those lines, and if something went wrong, they would redo it. But the thing about it was, and I had heard this before going to the taping and saw it in person, is that the shows that they shot after lunch were much funnier and racier and everything, because those guys, those stars, Lynde and those guys, they would go out drinking at lunchtime.
Yeah, of course.
So they would come back liquored up, and then they would, the show would be funnier. That was also, by the way, there was when I was a young guy working at KABC, the big shot news host who did the 5 and the 11 news on KBC in Los Angeles for years, for like 20 years, was a guy named Jerry Dunphy.
Oh, yeah. The curly hair. He had curly hair.
No, he had white hair, big shock and white hair. His catchline was, "From the desert to the sea to all of Southern California, a good evening," every night. Well, Dunphy would do the 5 o'clock news and then disappear for a few hours. And when the 11 o'clock news came around, you could see that Jerry was a little bit.
Couple of martinis down at Ernie's.
Oh, yeah. They would go to those places in the valley. They would they would drive around, and they were crazy. That was Jerry Dunphy. Anyway, so back to where we were, though. That was Peter Marshall was the host of that show. He was great, and everybody knew him, or you didn't really know him, but he was sort of just there.
Yeah.
And now he's gone. The other guy who died, made a big impression of our era, was Phil Donahue, and he was 88 years old when he passed. His show, the Phil Donahue Show, debuted in Dayton, Ohio in 1967, and it propelled him on a 29-year syndicated run that I just read about, much of it as the unchallenged king of daytime talk television. But what was interesting about him was that he broke the mold of having a talk show in which people would come out, you'd introduce them, they'd sit on the couch, and he'd talk to them, and so on. He did the opposite. There was no opening monologue, no couch, no sidekick, no band. It was just him. He would come out, and he would do one topic for an entire hour, and they would just, and the most amazing thing was that he included the audience in the sort of the conversation.
Yeah, he went out into the audience.
Yeah, he wore himself out doing it. But what was great about it was that people in the audience were better than the guests. They had better questions. They could be funnier in a way. As they put it in this one article, there was sex, lots of it, and more as the years passed. And not every conversation qualified as a lofty discourse. Not with Mr. Donahue donning a dress and stockings to study cross-dressing, or interviewing lesbian go-go dancers, or exploring the merit of dressing up like a baby for sexual pleasure.
Yeah. Well, he was the godfather of the phrase, "If it bleeds, it leads."
Yeah. But I've never tried dressing up like a baby for sexual pleasure.
Please don't. You look like a crime scene as it is. Please don't dress up like a baby.
Why would you dress up like a baby for sexual pleasure?
God.
We already have to wear diapers, you and I. We've already progressed to that stage.
Speak for yourself.
No, I know you wear those diapers when you go to those long-ass Kevin Costner movies, and you want to protect
Get down on Kevin now. Leave my boy alone.
By the way, that ridiculous movie of his that you went to see and paid $20 for, drank yourself through to get through it. What's it called again? Not Heritage.
Something like that. Close,
You don't even know.
close enough.
Close enough. Anyways, that ridiculous thing is coming to. It's going to be starting to stream now. It had its run now at the theaters in the last couple months. Now it's coming to stream time.
You'll be there. You'll be watching it.
I'll watch it for free. Then I can turn it off. Well, he doesn't even come on for the first hour, so I gotta.
First hour, yeah, you won't miss anything.
Man. All right. So speaking of celebrities like shills, like Kevin Costner, Dolly Parton. When you think about Dolly Parton,
You cannot ignore her.
a couple of things come to mind right away. Anyways, Parton, who is an actress, author, and entrepreneur, she can now add winemaker to her resume. So this 78-year-old Dolly Parton, she recently created Dolly Wines. We're going to see her Chardonnay here in America. And I Googled it, and it's selling online for $14.99 a bottle.
I probably won't be drinking it.
No, I don't like Chardonnay anyways. I don't. It's not my color of choice.
That's a big celebrity deal now. All the basketball stars are doing tequilas.
Well, yeah, I mean, George Clooney shills for a coffee maker.
Yeah.
I mean,
And remember, he and Randy Gerber sold Casamigos
oh yeah,
tequila for what, $1 billion or
Yeah.
something? Yeah.
yeah. Then there's the Ryan Reynolds, who when we're talking about Blake Lively later, we'll get into him. But he has Aviation Gin,
Yeah.
which, by the way, he put the logo of Aviation Gin on the jackets that are worn by his soccer team, Wrexham, in England. And he also,
While they're using his cellular phone.
yeah, Mint Mobile.
Mint. Yeah.
Charlene Theron, the spokesperson for Dior. Eva Longoria is the face of L'Oreal. But here's some less classier ones.
I can hardly wait.
So if you want to, you know who the face of Crocs are? You know what I think of Crocs, basically.
You gotta get a pair. I'm telling you.
No, they are the
Wear them one
worst.
time.
I don't even know.
They look like hell. They look like your mother-in-law's kiss, but they are comfortable. I'm telling you.
They look like your mother-in-law's what?
Kiss.
Mother-in-law's kiss. Yeah, but anyways, they're at one point, Drew Barrymore, the actress, was the spokesperson for Crocs. That's probably why you bought your Crocs. You saw Drew Barrymore wearing them.
Yeah, I like her, by the way.
No, she's great.
Have you seen her new talk show?
No.
It's a pretty good job. Yeah, I like it.
What? You sit home and watch Drew Barrymore's talk show? For real?
No. I come in every once in a while, and my wife will have it on.
Yeah, bull crap. I don't believe that for a second. You're sitting there with your little drink, sitting there watching Drew Barrymore talk to some other celebrity. All right, so the face of Tampax, Amy Schumer.
Oh, no.
She did
That's
commercial.
perfect.
Wait a minute. I even got some weirder ones. Before he was famous, Brad Pitt endorsed Pringles. Idiot.
And now he owns one of the best rosé brands out of France.
Oh, he does. He owns it, or he shills
Yeah,
for
he
it.
owns it. Yeah, he owns it. He bought the estate where it's made.
Snoop Dogg's in 2012 had this song called "Drop It Like It's Hot" that was a huge hit, and he became the spokesperson for Hot Pockets, and they altered the song to read "Pocket Like It's Hot."
Snoop Dogg, please.
But
Discernible talent.
but he's going to be on The Voice here starting this next few weeks.
Yeah, another puzzlement.
Yeah, you didn't like him in the Olympics. That pissed you off.
I don't like him at all.
But here's the classic all-time person to sell out his name and face for a product. Ozzie Osbourne once was the face of "I can't believe it's not butter." What the hell? He's the guy who ate like a what
Like a
what he,
bat or something.
yeah, he ate a bat on stage. Maybe
Ate a
put
bat.
some butter on it. I can't believe it's not butter on it. Bat butter.
And then who was the guy who followed him? The jungle guy. What was his name?
You mean jungle guy? I don't know who you're talking about. Followed him. What followed him as what? You mean the followed him as the face of "I can't believe it's butter"?
As a face, yeah.
Oh.
Guy with one name, one word name.
Not that guy from
Fabio.
Fabio. Fabio.
Fabio. Remember?
He was the face of "I can't believe it's not butter."
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Check it out.
I am going to check it out. If it checks out, I'm going to have a picture of it below.
picture.
If it doesn't check out, then I'm going to put a picture of you eating butter. Then these are celebrities who are basically getting paid just to. That's why they'll do it. They're like, Ozzy Osbourne needs money. Okay, I'll put my face on a butter tin. But the celebrities who really will roll around in the dirt to sell something are the ones in which they have a piece of the product.
Sure.
And that brings us to this Blake Lively situation. She has this movie that just came out. It's called This Ends With Us. And it's based on a really famous book of a few years ago by Colleen Hoover. And Colleen Hoover was writing about her parents' relationship, which was evidently pretty intense. Had some
And abusive
domestic violence. So Blake Lively gets a hold of this property and decides to make a film of it. But I think Blake was worried that the theme of it was not going to sell. She actually did this commercial. She did it on Instagram, I think, where she's sitting there and she's wearing a very pretty floral dress. And she says, "Grab your friends, wear your florals, settle down with a tasty cocktail, and kick back. The year's sexiest movie is upon us," basically. Yeah, she's downplaying the plot's central theme. She's out there selling this dark look at domestic violence like it's a Hallmark Christmas movie.
Yeah.
By the way, you saw that Twisters, right? Because you were ragging on it. You didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I read this article, so it's like clickbait. I fell for this article headline about the Twisters kiss controversy. And I clicked through it, and it was about that Glenn Powell doesn't kiss the co-star Daisy Edgar Jones at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Was that did that bother you?
No, there wasn't any real sense by the time it got to the movie that you wanted them to rip each other's clothes off and, have at it in the trailer behind the ranch house.
That's why. Now you're recounting your life. Don't be putting it on them. I could see you back in the chicken coop behind the house. Honey, come on in.
No. That was my childhood sweetheart. Tava Wolf was her name.
Oh my God! I hope they're not watching this. They'll start sending cease and desist letters just to tell you to shut up and don't talk about him.
Yeah. Now they'll say, "God, is he still alive? Somebody hasn't killed him yet."
No. Back in the chicken coop with Tava.
Yeah.
I was just pissed off because I clicked on the article based on the title and there was nothing there. The guy wrote 700 words to say that there was no controversy. Nobody cared that they didn't kiss at the end. Yeah. So I got suckered into that article. And then that brought me back to thinking about, when we did this podcast a few weeks ago, somebody wrote in to us or to me and said, just basically said, "You're just clickbait." And then my answer was, yeah.
Yeah, duh.
That's why we're doing this. We need subscribers. I'm going to say it again. Please subscribe. Right. You subscribe, Mike will come over with his horse. Or if he doesn't show up on your doorstep with a horse, it means he might have a massage table. And he'll give you a massage.
Or a peach pie. Any number of surprises could come your way.
With a lattice.
A lattice top.
With a lattice top.
Very important.
All right. PSA. As every week now we've been doing a PSA, and this week's is just as dire as the other weeks. Perdue, which is a company that, like Tyson, just all they do is make chicken. Not make chicken. They kill chickens and they sell it to you. They don't make any chicken. Chickens make
various
chickens.
forms. Yeah.
Perdue recalls 160,000 pounds of frozen chicken nuggets and chicken tenders.
Just like the boar's head.
Yeah, what are you going to do now, Mike? You can't have any boar's head ham, and you can't have any of those Perdue chicken nuggets you like.
I can't have hot honey butt ham
Yeah.
or extruded shaped chicken tenders
Yeah.
from Perdue.
Yeah, well, who's in charge of making the shape in those nuggets? Like they're supposed to be little pieces of chicken.
Yeah, all white meat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, a white meat slurry.
All right, so
Form.
the ready-to-eat chicken breast nugget and tender products may have been contaminated with foreign materials. Get this. Specifically metal, according to the USDA's Food Safety and Inspection Service. The recall was initiated after customers contacted the manufacturer with complaints that metal wire was embedded in the products.
Oh, great. Electric chicken.
Yeah. So this is for all of our viewers here, go home, go into your freezer, see if you have any Perdue products, especially the nuggets or the tenders, and see if there's any metal sticking out of them.
Yeah, use a magnet. If the chicken sticks to your magnet, throw it away.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. So anyway, do that. I'm going to go check now to make sure my chicken does not have any metal in it, or you can call the Perdue customer care line at 1-866-866-3703. I'll put that number up there in case you find some nasty looking chicken that has like a wire sticking out of its mouth.
Yeah, and at this point, what are they going to do? Tell you to throw it away?
They did. In the article, they basically said, you get it and pitch it. Don't. They said you can actually return it
For a refund, yeah.
if you have the receipt.
No good.
That better not happen at Costco. I don't want to see any wire coming out of my $5.99 roasted chicken. You know, if that happened,
Get all those chickens.
people would go nuts if it happened at Costco. They'd rip the place down.
Oh, to ruin Costco.
It would ruin Costco. They wouldn't have anything left.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I saw this whole fascinating article I wanted to talk to you about. We're basically, you and I, semi-retired, but fully retired people, if they're sitting around and they don't, you can only watch our podcast for an hour a week. You can't, well, you could sit and watch it every day because you like looking at us. But if you get sick of watching us or you get sick of pickleball, if you're tired of going to happy hour, though I can't see you and I ever getting tired of going to happy hour.
Ever.
But you want an adventure, there are groups of people, not groups, I mean, there's thousands of people who are actually choosing to live on cruise ships. And these articles are basically saying you can save money by living on a cruise ship as opposed to what you would spend in living in your.
Nonsense.
Well, all right. So the reason they said is on a cruise, all your food and entertainment are included in the cost of the cruise. And while you may pay a lot up front, you can actually end up saving money by doing away with monthly car payments because you won't need a car, gas bills, utility costs, and grocery bills because you'd be eating from their cafeteria style food. We priced a year of cruises for two people aboard the Carnival Celebration. The Carnival Celebration is a brand new ship. It's huge. It holds thousands of rooms on it. It's got all kind of entertainment. It's got all kind of eating options and all kind of things. But and it doesn't stay out for a year. Meaning, if you board it in Miami in December, it's not going to off-board you the next December in Miami. It goes on cruises and it stops. You just stay on board and then just go from cruise to cruise to cruise to cruise.
Oh, God.
Total cost for two people to do this on this cruise celebration line, Carnival Celebration, was $106,000 for two people. So
Total?
Yeah, 53,000 a person basically for a double occupancy room on this carnival. $19,000 in port fees and taxes. Gratuities, $11,000. That's, tipping everybody who has to, every one of these,
Yeah.
porters has got to carry your ass home after you get drunk every night. Onboard spending, you would spend $56,000 in their estimation on the onboard spending for a total of,
Isn't onboard spending what you'd be doing if you were living at home,
yeah,
day-to-day spending?
yeah. But you're not buying grocery stuff. I'm not quite sure what you would be spending it on board because a lot of those costs are supposed to be inclusive, right?
Included, yeah.
Yeah. But the total comes to $193,907. So that's for two. So that's not that cheap for living a year. I don't think I'm spending $193,000 for 12 divided by 12. That's
That's a lot of money.
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So I don't think it's a deal unless, I don't know, that's out the door money too.
I can't imagine taking a cruise, much as living on a cruise ship for a year. I just can't.
Well, my beef about cruise has just been I don't want the feeling that there's nowhere to go and then I'm just sort of stuck on the ship. I don't care how many different magic shows they have or things there are to do. You get, after a while, like I've been there,
You've
done
seen
that.
them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen them all.
I don't know. Anyway, so that's what it would cost, around 200 grand a year to live on board a ship with you and your wife or you and your significant other. No.
Not this cowboy.
All right, finally, I got a couple stories here to wrap things up for today. 3 of them, actually. The first one is, this is a good story. I just have one question, and it'll come at the end of it, and because I don't understand. 1945, World War II is just ending. Mike was a grown man working on a farm somewhere.
I was just filling out my college application.
This guy wrote a note, put it in a glass bottle, and now it washes up, 80 odd years later, almost 80 years later, 800 miles away in Florida, after Hurricane Debbie swept a swath of the state. The letter was addressed to someone named Lee from this guy whose name was Chris, and the person who found it, her name was Suzanne Flament Smith of Tampa Bay, Florida. And the letter was on a letterhead from the United States Navy Amphibious Training Base Camp in Little Creek, Virginia. And it said, and this is the part that gets me, was written in cursive, and the guy Chris says to Lee in this note that's in this bottle, received your letter yesterday, was glad to hear from you, and he went on to write, I'm going to school again, to radio school, and then a bunch of stuff that you couldn't read. So what I don't understand is, Chris, this guy who's a sailor in 1945, has gotten word that he gets a letter from his wife or girlfriend or whatever, and he decides to tell some immediate news that I'm going to school again, to radio school, and then instead of just calling, because they had phones in those days, or sending a telegram, which people commonly did in those days, he put that information into a bottle, and which to me is, and threw it in the ocean. So I get the romance of if you had a love letter and you put it in a bottle, or if you'd had some inner feelings that you wanted to get out and you put it in a bottle so it could be found years later. But why would you have news that you want to share with somebody immediately and put it in a bottle? Number 2 is former NFL player. This guy's name is Godser, weird name, Gosder, Gosder Cherilus of Wakefield, Massachusetts, who played for Boston College. He was drafted in the NFL in 2008 by Detroit Lions. Played for 5 seasons for the Lions, 2 with the Colts, 2 with the Buccaneers, and he retired in 2016.
I never heard of him.
Neither did I, but he probably sat the bench, but he was a professional football player. Now, listen to what he did to get back into the news. He was arrested on a Delta Airlines flight from Boston to Dublin, Ireland, and accused of urinating on another passenger.
Okay, I'm out of here.
So if you're sitting next to old Goddess, what's his name? Gosder, Cherilus, and he starts urinating on your leg in the middle of the fight. They didn't even say any information about the person who got whizzed on because they don't ever want this story coming to light.
No.
All right, the last story is on a company that you're probably familiar with, being that you were in the fashion business, Dolce and Gabbana.
Yeah.
Gabbana.
Big brand. Still a big brand.
Right, they're a fashion line. I mean, a fashion company.
Yeah.
But they've branched out, and they're now they've created a perfume for dogs. You know what it's called?
Yes. Surprised me.
Fifi,
Of course.
in honor of Domenico Dolce's poodle. Now, I don't know whether Domenico Dolce is a man or a woman.
It's a guy.
It is? All right. Domenico, he has a dog, a poodle, and it's named Fifi, and that's what he decided to name this new perfume after. It's been certified for safe for animals. It says on their website the fragrance is gentle and well accepted by their pets. And it only costs, drum roll please, 99 euros or 108 American dollars.
Of course. How did
So-
we miss this last week when we were talking about the stupid things people do with their pets?
Well, now the stupid thing is they spray them with this perfume, but veterinarians aren't so sold on the product. They say it might cause havoc with the dog's sense of smell and even cover up scents that could be the symptoms of a disease.
Yeah.
I will tell you right here, I'm looking at my lazy ass dog rescue lab, Truman. He has a smell, all right. And my Valerie calls it ripe.
Right.
So whatever she says, Truman smells ripe, it means that Truman has gotten pretty stinky, and that's I'm going to end up paying for a cleaning, meaning a truck comes up.
Yeah.
A truck comes to the house. Truman goes out to the truck and then gets washed and bathed, and I pay $150. Which, by the way, is considerably more expensive than my own grooming, which I'm doing today, by the way, going to get my hair cut.
What are you going to pay? Well, first of all, what are they going to cut?
Well, what they're going to do is, what he does is he trims all this up on a number one. You could have a number 1 through 4 on your head if you know men's hair. If you knew any of this, you'd know that. If you didn't shave your own head with a pair of garden shears.
This is a uniform number 2, from front to back, side to side, 6 swipes and I'm done. I never leave my house. I don't pay $50, and I look stunning.
I don't know about that. He does a half on the side, so it's almost gone, which I like, and then cuts it off right here at the old part line, and then everything else sticks up, and he takes a little bit out of the top. It's my boomer mohawk, and I like it. And then he does some trim work around here just to make sure everything's cleaned up. Hey, I don't see you doing any trim work, by the way.
Listen, I'm not running any pantyhose with this. I keep it shaved, man.
All right. Anyway, all right, everybody. Thank you for listening to the show today. Please subscribe, as I've mentioned
Yep.
twice now in this show. If you subscribe, Mike will come by the house, and you have an option. We'll send a menu. You have an options. You can have him bring a pie, peach pie with a lattice top. He can bring his massage table and give you a massage. His hands have been worked horses over the years. They'll give you a wonderful massage. Or he'll bring his horse over, and then he'll teach you how to ride around and throw ropes at things, which is what he does, how he chases Mary around.
Yeah, or if you're in our neighborhood, we will treat you to a bottom shelf gin martini, very well shaken, not stirred, and shrimp or calamari, because that's what Jeff and I love.
That's right.
And,
Off the happy hour menu. Send us an email to oldpeoplethisweek@gmail.com. Mike and I take all comments. Check out our Substack at 52task.substack.com. We will be teaching you something that you need to know. I'm not even going to reveal what it is this week because it's so special, but it has a task attached to it, and you can do that task and you will be a better person for it. And that's it. Mike, take care. Oh, you can check us out on, by the way, if you don't like looking at Mike's terrible haircut, you can check us out on Apple.
Study this. Study this. Perfection.
You can check us out on Apple or Spotify as well, so you don't have to see that debauchery he calls a haircut. All right, take care, Mike. It's good seeing you as always.
Yep.
We'll see you in person in a couple weeks.
You got it. Say hi,
Adios.
Mel. Talk to you later. Bye.